Hey everybody, it is a rainy Wednesday, March 24th, 2021. So as we know, there's a lot going on energetically, meaning invisible, but we can feel it hitting us. And a lot of people want to call a lot of what's happening ascension and ascension symptoms. And that's really just a coined name for elevating your consciousness and the earth elevating to a higher space and place of consciousness. So as she's leveling up, everyone inside of her, into the surface, on top of the surface, and around her is going to need to level up in order to physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually adjust, because it's like changing altitude. So if you're going to take a trip up the mountain, you know your ears are going to be popping, and the air is a little different up there depending on the height of the altitude, etc. So you plan for that, right? And you make adjustments for that. But a lot of people are complaining about why is this happening to them, as if they're a victim, and feeling the pain and the anguish of so many things coming up that it's almost been unbearable and uncomfortable to even want to stay in this body with your feet on this earth. And I get that, and I understand it. But I want everyone to understand that just like your trip to the Alps or high up in a mountain where you have to make your altitude adjustments and bring along the right gear and all that other good stuff, before you incarnated into this physical avatar, you were in learning school, spiritual learning school. So you're in between lifetimes and you're going over other lifetimes as you're planning this lifetime. Now, the way my guides have shown me is that every lifetime we make the attempt to complete our list of lessons that we want to learn, things that we want to go through. But up until this lifetime, we've never been able to succeed at them for a number of reasons. Number one, you needed all the learning experiences. Number two, as the earth evolved, things changed. Number three, as things changed and the earth evolved, a lot more sinister darkness implanted here and began to control the masses more through incorrect belief systems, through money systems, just creating entrapment, enslavement, and what I always refer to when they show me the picture is invisible obstacle courses. So up into this lifetime, we have not been as successful as we want in completing our list. So when we go back up and have life review and we're replanning, in one of my past life regression sessions, I was literally in a classroom. And there were several guides, just like a teacher. And we were all planning things before we incarnated. So I look at that as like a spiritual school. So because we haven't been able to achieve this because of the invisible obstacle courses, and then life happens, etc., etc., we've been expressing to all of the hierarchy how difficult it can be. But we are a planet of really being able to dig deep into emotional responses and reactions to life. And it is a tough place to inhabit here, but the beautiful thing is free will. And the whole goal is to not only just complete your list, but to awaken consciously to the remembering of the star beings, the angelics, the Christ consciousness, all of the spiritual things that we are, and we're just here in a vehicle experiencing earthly experiences, trying to grow spiritually. But we've been held down for so long learning to live the physical life. And so the mental, spiritual life has been slowly extinguished. And it's made you feel like, oh, if I'm good, then, somebody up there is going to reward me. And oh, if this happens to me, I must have been bad. And oh my goodness, this and that. And if I don't have enough money, I don't get treated the same as somebody who has money, but then I can't get money because I'm always stuck. So there's a part of it that develops victimism, okay, which is true. But then again, it's all about the invisible obstacle courses where you're just like, shit, this is tough. And we go back up and we try to redesign it. But this time, we redesigned it so that the masses could come in. So there will be more massive support. Each decade, more and more join us in opening up the consciousness of Mother Earth and our individual and collective consciousness of where we come from and why we're here. And in doing that, it also raises everything up so high that the dark cannot survive. I want you to understand that. You've got to raise the vibration of yourself and your environment and the environment of Mother Earth and gather momentum through the masses so that everyone is elevating their consciousness, that these dark MFers can't survive. They cannot. They will have no oxygen. They will have nothing to feed on, because the higher we get ourselves, even though we're in a 3D physical body, the higher that we raise our vibrations, claim our sovereignty, declare our freedom, cut all of the cords, and take our path in that direction, the more of us that open up, the higher we ascend. And we don't have little hitchhikers. Okay? So, with all that being said, we're going through a lot of physical pain because we're not just cleansing out this lifetime. We are cleansing out lifetimes after lifetimes after lifetimes, as well as we are feeling what our neighbor is feeling, and what the neighbor's neighbor is feeling, and what the person across the ocean is feeling. We are clearing all of that, and it's something that we agreed on. Now, I know that sometimes when we've stepped away from something and we're going to go back into it, we'll agree without really thinking, am I going to be successful at this? So the vision that I was shown was when we're in spiritual school, we have this big, big, beautiful bowl in front of us, and we're putting in, the must-learned lessons. The must-learn lessons have to go in there. And then we're putting a little pinch of this in, a little pinch of that. And then we're putting in the critical ingredients. And we're just mixing it all up. And then somebody across the room says, hey, I'm going to cross your path. And if it's too much for me, can you bear it? Yeah, sure, no problem. Just put it in my bowl. I got you. And this goes on. And next thing you know, you're carrying everybody's stuff just as they're carrying yours. And you don't realize that it was intentionally set this way. So the excruciating pain and anguish that people are going through right now can take you to your wit's end, where you're like, what's the use? Okay? And I get it. I will not lie that has not crossed my mind on many occasions. And you got to remember that I came in awake. And I've been living my life alone in my thoughts and in my belief systems until into adulthood, when I could begin to express them, but only to selected few. So here we are, fast forward to 2020, when a lot of freaking people had time to start investigating and tapping into their intuition and responding with, hey, that doesn't feel right. That doesn't sound right. And then, of course, you still have all the sheep that are believing, oh, my goodness, if I get a little whoa, I'm all cured. Everything's great. Life's going back. Life is never going back to the way it was pre-2020. It's not meant to. We're meant to excel. We're meant to go up levels. We're meant to get promotions, all right? And in doing so, our guides get promotions. So they're in our ear and in our hearts and in every cell of our body, talking with us, through us, to us. But if you're so busy running around trying to make money and listening to the news and all the minutia and bullcrap that everybody else is drowning themselves in because they don't know what else to do, then you're going to get drugged down with them, and your team is going to get drugged down with them, with you. So the buck stops here. Individually stops here. You've got to say, this is my home. This is my home. This is my home. And this is how it's going to be here. And then this is how it's going to be in my car. And this is how I'm going to be at my job. And again, look back at other videos when thoughts come up. Say, is that highest integrity? Oh, I don't think so. I'm going to delete that. And I'm going to rephrase my thought. And I'm going to see how that feels here. So that in of itself lightens and gets you to other levels too. Also brings in new guides that will help you as you're maneuvering through. So with what's going on, call it what you want. It's really growing pains. It's growing pains because you're growing taller, and all the density and all the crap that is in every physical cell of your body and in your energetic cells and memory, that is what you are squeezing all that old life out. Literally like, you're just wringing it out because you want it to go as crystalline light as it can go so that you are fully connected with all of the beautiful stuff. Not all the density bullcrap that you've been living in other planets and in this earth, okay? So this has nothing to do with religion. This has nothing to do with fear-based anything. The overall theme, look around you. Those who are trying to grow are the ones who are suffering. But there's light at the end of the tunnel, because each time you wring out a cell, you're draining out all the crap, right? But then it's got to filter through the filter system. It's got to go through the blood, the lymph. You know, it's got to go through the kidneys. It's got to come out the bladder. It's got to come out the bowels. And while it's doing that, it's getting backed up in the joints and they ache. And then you feel like your abdominal area is crunched and your stomach hurts. You're having heart palpitations, or you're feeling dizzy. Your jaws are locked up. Your occiput's locked up. Your hearing's going because you're hearing, frequencies changing. And yet you don't do anything to change any of those things. So that's what we call wake up. Wake up, take stock of what is happening in your world, what it is that you desire. How do you step as gracefully as you can towards those desires? And then at the same time, let go of the dense albatross crap that you've collected for millennium. Okay? Because they're not serving you anymore. Remember, whatever it is that you clear out, you are clearing out for your ancestors and for those who are currently here and for those who are coming. All right? It's just like if you're driving down the road and there's a bunch of debris and you know that it's going to block up traffic and that you've got family coming and you don't want to see them get locked up, blocked up, or run over something that's really going to hurt them in their vehicle, right? You're going to stop and you're going to clean up that debris so that those who come behind you can have a smoother transitional ride. And that's what this is about, my friends. I can't put it any more simply. So as you're allowing yourself to wring out the cells, when it gets to be like, oh my God, this is so painful. I have to function today. I don't know what to do. I'm eating healthier. I'm drinking more water, blah, 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 blah. All you gotta do is say, pump the brakes, guides. Guides, I need you to pump the brakes. I'm telling you, I'm at my peak point here, and I need a little time to catch my breath and a little time to just allow my circulation to do what it needs to do, and a little more rest time because I need to catch up. So I'm asking you to gracefully cushion me with beautiful pink cloudy energy. They just said make a different video on that, so I'm not going to say that. Just ask them to pump the brakes. Get yourself in rhythm with your breath. The breath is the free energy to restart. And I don't care how many times a day you have to restart until you form a habit. Just do it. I can promise you it will help things sift and move forward. And if you can't get out and exercise, walk. Pick 1 or 2 yoga poses. Get in them. And then look around and be so grateful that you were able to do the pose. It might not have looked so beautiful, but nobody was watching, so it's okay. And look around and say, thank you for my sofa, and thank you for my internet and access to this DVD or whatever. Well, not DVD, but sorry to show my age. I'm grateful for the trees around me. I'm grateful for the time to be able to do this. And I'm so glad that I chose to come here and to get rid of all this baggage that's everybody else's and that's all mine. And it's just going to take me some time, and that's okay. But when it gets a bit much and you're feeling like you need to exit, stop, drop, sit, breathe, and ask them to please back it up a little bit. It will help, I promise. So much love and light to each and every one of you. Please feel free to reach out for a healing session, coaching session. I'm available. My email will be in the description. I like nice comments. I need you to share the video to help me with the algorithms. That helps lighten me up a little bit instead of feeling so dense. And understand that you've got this. Understand that you've got it. All right?